Okay, first of all, I just want to thank Pastor Greg and Brother Caleb for just giving me the opportunity to do this. And I'm thankful for them pushing me to try to do more than what I would just stay in my comfort zone and do what I want to do. Both of them have just kind of pushed me to do things that I wouldn't normally do, and I'm grateful for both of them for that. One thing that's really been working on me or in my heart since Pastor Greg preached last week was he was talking about how Mary and Joseph just listened to God's will and they did his will wholeheartedly. And that's one thing that just everybody in the Bible pretty much, it shows of them doing God's will, and it just doesn't talk about people that don't, because God wants that example to be in the Bible. Amen. And the main thing I'm just be talking about tonight is the devotionals that Brother Caleb and Miss Hannah have given us since the beginning of this year. I've just been thinking about those, and whenever Brother Caleb asked me to do this, I felt a little overwhelmed. And that's what this first one is about. I started looking back through the other devotionals, and I just went through the ones all over here, and I kind of picked the ones that spoke to me the most. The first one was by Doug Stewart. It said, "From Overwhelmed to Confident" was the title of it. And he spoke about Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, "And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me." And then he goes on to say, confidence comes from being overwhelmed with God, I'm sorry again. Confidence comes from being overwhelmed with who God is. And that just really spoke to me, and it helped me to realize that I don't have to be overwhelmed with the task that somebody puts before me or something that God has asked me to do. I just need to be overwhelmed with what God is, and he will help me with that. Amen. And the next one was by Samuel Dalton. It said, "You can be right, but also be wrong." And I put another one in there. It's called, It All Starts with Pride. And this one spoke of Proverbs 13 and verse 3. This one says, "He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction." And I usually don't have a big problem about opening my mouth, because I'm not really open with everything, and I don't like to talk a lot, and that's why this is a little hard for me. But I still have to be wise with my words, and everybody needs to, and that's one thing that really spoke to me. He said, "Pride is like an avalanche. It will take you on a ride you don't want to go on and destroy everything in its path." And that just shows the power of the tongue and why we have to be very careful with what we say. The next one is by Larry Key. It says, "Having focus and having God-focused prayer." This was in Matthew 6:22. Okay. It says, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." So basically what that meant to me was that if we have our eyes set on God, then our whole body and our whole life will just be centered around God, and God will be able to use our life. Amen. And it said, "Make God the center of your life and center of your prayers." And that's one thing that I've been trying to work on. I'm trying to work my devotionals and my Bible reading around prayer so I can be a better prayer warrior. Next one is by Samuel Dalton. It said, "A sermon for short attention spans." This one was just I think it was Saturday. And that really got my attention, because a lot of people these days, they can't really focus on things for a long time. And it talked about how the sermons back in the time of Jesus would be like 2 to 3 hours long. And it's very shocking nowadays. The sermon now is like 20 to 30 minutes. And I just can't even imagine that. But that was in Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Okay. It says, "He that showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the word require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God." The first thing he said was to do justly. This means to be honest and honorable with your actions and with your words. So that means to just be upright and try to please God with everything. Next thing he said was to love mercy. This means to forgive others of their offenses to us and to let go of our grudges. And that's some things, or some of the things I have trouble with. I have a little bit of anger issues, and I hold on to grudges, but I'm trying to stop doing that. The next one says to walk humbly with God. Pride is a sin that can take over our life. If we're not careful, God expects you and me to be honest and forgiving and humble, are we? Thank you.
Amen.